So this is the test review for Accelerated Geometry Advanced Algebra. And the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to find the value that completes the square and then rewrite it as a perfect square. Our first problem is x squared plus 11x, and then we need to find the term to complete the square. In order to do that, we're going to take half of this term. Half of 11 is just 11 halves. And we have to square that to give us our term that goes here. 11 squared is 121. 2 squared is 4. And that completes our square. But we also want to rewrite it as a perfect square. And we learned before when we were going from standard to vertex form that when we take half of this term, this is our factor. So our answer then would be x plus 11 halves quantity squared. Number 2 is the same process. We have a squared plus 18a plus another term. Same process. Half of 18 is 9. 9 squared gives us 81. And we have factors of a plus 9 quantity squared. The next part says to solve using the quadratic formula. Our first problem is 3n squared minus 8n equals negative 5. Whenever we use a quadratic formula, which is negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4 times a times c, all divided by 2a, before we can even start the process, we need to make sure that our equation is in standard form. Since this one is not, we need to add 5 to both sides. 5 is not a like term with either one of these, so I will have 3n squared minus 8n plus 5 equals 0. Now I can identify a is equal to 3, b is equal to negative 8, always watch your signs, and c is equal to 5. Now that I have a, b, and c, the rest of the process is fairly simple. Negative 8 for b right here is going to give me a positive 8 plus or minus the square root of 8 squared minus 4 times a is 3, c is 5, and 2 times 3. Now all I have to do is multiply it out and simplify it. So again, I have 8 plus or minus the square root of 64 minus 3 times 5 is 15. 4 15s gives me 60. 2 times 3 is 6. I multiplied the 3 times the 5 first because it's a lot easier for me to do 4 15s than to do 5 12s. Always look for what's easy. Here I have 8 plus or minus square root of 4 all over 6. Since 4 is a perfect square, I'm just going to have 8 plus or minus 2 divided by 6. And since they're all numbers, I need to complete it. So if I add 8 and 2, I get 10 over 6, which reduces to 5 over 3. And if I subtract 8 minus 2, I'm going to get 6 over 6, which will give me 1. So my solutions are 5/3 and 1.